The origins of Mexican food are deeply rooted in the country's long and rich history, blending indigenous culinary traditions with European influences, particularly from Spain. The result is a vibrant, diverse, and flavorful cuisine that reflects Mexico's geographic, cultural, and historical diversity. Here's a look at the origins of Mexican food and its evolution to what we know today. Pre-colonial roots before the 16th century.
Mexican cuisine has its origins in the diets of ancient Mesoamerican civilizations, including the Maya, Aztecs, and Olmecs. These indigenous peoples relied on farming and foraging, building their diets around staple crops such as corn, beans, squash, and chili peppers.
These foods, sometimes called the Three Sisters, remain central to Mexican cuisine today. Corn was the cornerstone of the indigenous diet, used to make tortillas, tamales, atole, and other essential foods. Chili peppers were a key ingredient, used to flavor and preserve food. There are hundreds of varieties used for salsas, moles, and marinades.
Beans provided protein, while squash offered vital nutrients and texture in stews, soups, and side dishes. Native to Mesoamerica, cacao was used in beverages and rituals long before the Spanish arrived. The Aztecs drank cacao spiced with chilies and other spices, laying the foundation for modern chocolate.
In addition to these staples, the indigenous peoples hunted and gathered a variety of foods, including wild game, insects, fruits, and herbs. Preparation techniques like roasting, steaming in underground pits, and grinding with a metate shaped the culinary landscape.
Spanish influence in the 16th century.
When the Spanish arrived in the 16th century, they introduced a variety of new ingredients and cooking techniques that would forever change Mexican cuisine. This fusion of indigenous and European food cultures is one of the key features that defines traditional Mexican food.
The Spanish brought domesticated animals such as cows, pigs, chickens, and sheep, introducing beef, pork, and dairy to the Mexican diet.
Cheese, cream, and butter became important components in Mexican dishes like enchiladas, quesadillas, and chiles rellenos. While corn tortillas remained popular, wheat-based foods like flour tortillas and baked goods were introduced.
Rice, which originated in Asia, was brought by the Spanish and integrated into Mexican dishes like arroz rojo and arroz con leche.
European herbs such as cilantro, oregano, parsley, and thyme found their way into Mexican cooking, complementing native spices. This blend of native and colonial ingredients created iconic Mexican dishes like mole, a complex sauce made with chilies, chocolate, and spices, and tacos, which were once humble street food but are now celebrated worldwide.
Following Mexico's independence from Spain in 1821, Mexican cuisine began to evolve further, incorporating global influences while holding on to its deep-rooted traditions. French culinary techniques arrived during the French intervention in the 1860s, leading to dishes like chiles en nogada, which has European-style fillings.
Regional diversity also became more pronounced. For example, Yucatan cuisine features tropical ingredients like achiote, citrus, and seafood. Oaxaca is famous for its chocolates, moles, tlayudas, and tamales. Northern Mexico focuses on meat-based dishes like carne asada and machaca, reflecting the cattle ranching culture of the area.
In the 20th century, Mexican food began to globalize, thanks in part to migration and the rise of Mexican-American cuisine. Traditional Mexican dishes like tacos, burritos, and enchiladas became staples in the United States, giving birth to Tex-Mex cuisine, which fuses Mexican flavors with American ingredients like cheddar cheese and sour cream.
In Mexico itself, food continues to be a vibrant part of cultural identity, with a focus on fresh, locally sourced ingredients. Street food, like tacos al pastor, pork tacos inspired by shawarma, elotes, which are grilled corn on the cob with chili, lime, and cheese, and tamales, remains an integral part of daily life.
Today, Mexican cuisine is celebrated internationally. In 2010, UNESCO recognized traditional Mexican cuisine as an intangible cultural heritage of humanity, acknowledging its importance as a cultural expression. Chefs both in Mexico and around the world have embraced and reimagined Mexican cuisine.
High-end restaurants now serve gourmet versions of traditional dishes, while regional Mexican ingredients such as avocado tequila and mezcal have found global popularity. Modern Mexican cuisine also reflects the influence of globalization. contemporary chefs experiment with fusion dishes that blend Mexican flavors with international techniques and ingredients, from Japanese Mexican sushi rolls to tacos with Korean-inspired fillings. From its ancient origins to its present-day prominence, Mexican food tells the story of a complex, dynamic culture. It has always been about more than just sustenance. It's a celebration of community, history, and creativity. Today, Mexican cuisine continues to thrive and evolve, maintaining its roots, while expanding its influence across the globe. Subscribe for more. Gracias.